Let's talk a little bit about Trump's lawsuit in New York. The investigations into Donald Trump's finances and his business dealings is continuing. And Trump, he's, as I mentioned in headlines, tends to be quite litigious, likes throwing out lawsuits, doesn't really matter about the merit, but it's a part of the way that he bullies people. Just so you know, you can be sued if you try to come after me. He's deployed this tactic many times, and now he's going after Tish James, New York Attorney General, who recently said she would not run for governor in order to continue as Attorney General, which, like, for ZephyrTeachout, friend of the show and somebody who I'll probably be voting for in this race, not great news. But Tish James has been aggressive in investigating Donald Trump. The suit filed in federal court in Albany by Mr. Trump and his family real estate business argued that Ms. James's involvement in both inquiries was entirely politically motivated attack that Mr. Trump has deployed in the past when faced with scrutiny by law enforcement and others. So he's using the witch hunt defense. He's, I believe, used the same argument against Cy Vance, the outgoing Manhattan DA, who had a twin investigation into Donald Trump's finances and the business dealings of the company. Mr. Trump faces a high bar in proving that Ms. James violated his rights, according to legal experts, some of whom predicted that Ms. James would prevail even if a judge concluded that her comments were inappropriate. Her comments being like criticizing Donald Trump. Because, you know, if there's anything that you probably know about Donald Trump, it's that he is opposed to ideologically tilted attorney generals.
Yeah.
He will not stand for it. He will not stand for the esteemed office, whether it be on the state level or whether it be on the federal level.
Got to be independent.
Of attorney generals being political.
Unbiased.
That's why I fired Jeff Sessions, because the only way to not be political is to back everything I say or do. Sorry I didn't fire him, just forced him out. Mr. Trump's lawyers contend that Ms. James, the New York City public advocate at the time, campaigned for Attorney General as a part of an anti-Trump agenda during her campaign, which is true. During her campaign, Ms. James often invoked Mr. Trump on Twitter and in fundraising appeals. After being elected, Ms. James redoubled her attacks on Mr. Trump, the lawsuit argued.
Yeah, just a note on like witch hunts. Typically, they don't go after like extremely powerful people, for instance, like ex-presidents. Historically, they go after vulnerable people, often like women who aren't married or like widowed or something like that, that no man had authority over and things like that. Not exactly like the Trump, I guess,
empire.
Yeah, but I also would say if prosecutors like Tish James are going to start a new thing about campaigning about how they're going to go after powerful people, I think that is a good that's a good thing, and
yeah,
I welcome that.
I mean, and you can be cynical about it and basically say, wow, that was a huge winner in New York State because it's a very blue state. People despise Trump here. Makes total sense. And the money centers here also, like, you know, there's like there are enough people with money here who hate Trump that we're going to be in Tish James's favor. But the point is that I don't really care. Also, it
exposes New York State if they didn't do anything, because Trump is frankly a criminal. Like, yeah. You look at his real estate empire and the type of like,
and she has jurisdiction here,
and it's like she's fixing a problem that should have been dealt with in the 90s. Honestly, like Trump literally like legit works with like organized crime, and there's reporting to that effect, and that it's taken this long is an indictment of the system. It probably is politically motivated, but that's the only way you get actually high profile justice in this country, is if there's like a political valence to it. And guess what? Trump should acquit himself in the court of law.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're truly innocent, go for it, dude. It just does blow my mind. Like, there has never been, I mean, obviously maybe since the Nixon administration, like a more, or even above that, a more obvious example of a president attempting to politicize and influence his own attorney general. And now we're going to accuse the New York Attorney General of political malfeasance and like operating as if, as a party actor. Okay. And also Tish James oversaw the Cuomo investigation. So I don't know how much you can how your claims about her being basically a partisan hack are going to be
She's
able to
biased
hold
against
water.
men, clearly.
Oh yeah, total feminazi, total feminazi.